Hello peeps, welcome back to Plague Inc. Today we are showing you how to beat the Fungus on brutal difficulty. Let's get started. Okay, let's take a look at the genetic code modifiers. So, for the DNA gene, cytochrome surge, which gives you more DNA from popping the orange DNA bubbles. You want that one for this because fungus is more of a long game than the previous bacteria or virus. For mutation gene, let's take creationist, so decreases the chance of plague mutating, because with the fungus you want to try and keep it off the radar as much as possible. Okay, travel rate gene, aquasite or aerosite. That one gives a bonus with air, that one gives a bonus by sea. You can choose whichever one you like. I prefer going for aquasite, just because the smaller islands are more difficult to infect generally. So places like Iceland, Greenland, and some of the other sort of Southeast Asian countries, most of them have ports, some of them don't have airports, so I usually go with aquasite. Okay, the environment gene, extremophile, because that gives a bonus wherever you are. And finally, the evolution gene, pathostasis. Ability costs don't increase, but they're easier to cure. That's the one you want this time, because we're going to want cheaper abilities. Alright, so they're the modifiers. If you don't have all the genetic code modifiers unlocked yet, then all you need to do is win the game 25 times. So if you're a few short, just pop it on casual and do a few games until you get them all unlocked. Right, so the main strategy here is to infect everyone in the world without them knowing. That is the trick to this one. And then once they're all infected, you kill them as fast as possible. So it's it makes the fungus a bit more of a long game, and you don't want the plague to be detected until everyone is infected. Rhymes. Haha. Any mutations that you get, you need to try and devolve anything that could be suspicious. So yeah, to symptoms, just try and keep symptoms off as much as possible. But we'll go through that and you'll see exactly what I mean. Best place to start, as per usual, is China. So let's start in China. Let's speed things up a little bit. Okay. So the first things you want to do, step one in this process of beating the brutal difficulty, first thing you want to do is get drug resistance. The second thing you want to do is get cold resistance. And get that. You don't want to get any transmissions or any symptoms in this first step. They're the first two things you need to get. Drug resistance especially. Okay, so we've just got up to 21 points in our DNA points there. So step two in this process, if you like, you can get a couple of spore bursts because they're pretty cheap. So I think I might get... I'll just get one for the time being. And we want to get transmissions. We want air 1 and water 1. So we'll get those. Maybe get another one as well because they are quite cheap. I'll get one more as well. Any symptoms that come up, you need to devolve them straight away. Okay, so that's steps 1 and 2 done. Step 3, you want to get the second air and the second water. Get both of those to try and help spread your fungus a little bit more. Still no symptoms whatsoever because you don't want anyone to realise it's there. Then you want to get genetic hardening, so that will decrease future research speed in case anything crops up. And get heat resistance 1, so I'm going to get that now. Also, you can get another couple of spore bursts if you like. Make sure you've got a couple or more. In fact, 3 or 4 might be more suitable towards the end game, just so that you can, if there are any countries left that aren't infected, that maybe have closed ports down or something, you can still infect them. Okay, so we're almost ready for stage 4. In fact, we can start kind of implementing some of stage 4 already. Now, as you can see on the map, we're just over half of the world's population infected, but you can also see we've still got a long way to go. Most of the right hand side of the map is done. There's a couple of islands still that like the Philippines, New Guinea, Japan is only just started getting infected, New Zealand's only just started getting infected, and we've still got most of Africa to get. But I have now got up to 73 points in the disease menu. So the next thing you're going to want to get is extreme bioaerosol, which will help spread it. Still no symptoms whatsoever, because we don't want these people to know that we're infecting them. And that's pretty much it for step 4. It's literally a case of keeping them unaware that there's any infection, that there's any plague going on. So, because I've still got quite a few spore bursts to take, I'm gonna grab a bunch of these and see how that affects the game. Quite a lot, it seems. And now it's pretty much a waiting game. You can still use spore bursts if you like. There's still a few countries that haven't been infected yet. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Let's get maybe 1 or 2. Oh, it keeps going down here. In that case, I'll have 3. Get a few more spore bursts and hope that oh, that's good. It's got the Caribbean. Okay, at this point, when this comes up, until you have everyone in the world infected, you do not want any symptoms. So, when you get these messages comes up that you've had something mutated, don't click OK. What you want to do is you want to go into the menu, to your symptoms, select it, devolve it before it has a chance to actually come into effect. That way, when you click OK, there is no cysts. There are no cysts to infect people. That way, it will continue going unnoticed. Well, we have most of the world infected. It's literally just waiting on Iceland, Greenland, and Canada. If at this point you've still got as many points as I have, you could, I suppose, get cold resistance too, if you want to speed things up a bit. But I don't think it's really that necessary. As long as you're patient, this won't be a problem. Okay, so this is the moment we've been waiting for. There are no healthy people left in the world. Now, when you get to this point, you might not have as many points as me, because you might get some more random mutations than I did. I've only had 2, and they were both sort of fairly easy to get rid of. But you might find that if you get a few more, that you might have to spend some points to devolve them. Still, we have 114 points. I'll show you what to spend them on. We're going to get some symptoms. Now that everyone is infected, it means everyone's going to get these symptoms. So, let's have a look. What we want to do is we want to get cysts. And we want to get hypersensitivity, paralysis, coma, and total organ failure. That is what we want. Also, we're going to get genetic hardening 2, in our abilities, and then once people start dying, we'll get some more points, and then once they've started working on a cure, we'll work on getting the genetic reshuffle 1, 2 and 3. But for now, it's literally just a case of sitting back and watching the world burn. So as you can see, people dying very quickly, you get a lot of points very quickly. We'll get the last of the genetic reshuffle, which will hopefully help us out a bit, because they keep coming up to almost 25% and then going back down again. So they might get to 25% before the end of the world, but most of them will probably be dead soon, so it's okay. Well, there we go. They got as far as 29% on the cure before everyone in New Zealand died, and they were leading the cure effort this time around. So that's it. GG. I win. That was brutal fungus. The fungus among us. I'm so funny. And yeah, that's the brutal fungus. It's a lot easier when you know how to do it. Almost makes you wonder how you didn't know how to do it before. It was so easy. There we go. So as I say, fungus is quite the long game. If you can make sure that none of the symptoms evolve, just keep an eye on that, make sure they get devolved before you click that OK button. And you're golden, really. As I say, it's a bit of a long game, so you might have to wait for everything to kind of get going a bit, but if you follow this this little guide, you'll be able to do it fine. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.